Good morning. Before I begin, am I audible to everyone? Alright. I'll be talking about making India a global manufacturing hub. Nani A. Palkhiwala once said that the price we pay for being citizens in a democracy is eternal vigilance. I believe that such vigilance must be applied to our manufacturing prowess and economic capacity as well. After all, vigilance is apolitical. It must reflect in our institutional capacity, in our logistical capacity, and our skills when comparing them to the global economic reality. Now, Articles 39 and 43 of the Constitution of India serve as guardrails for good economic progress and sustainable economic progress. At the end of the day, we have one of the youngest workforces in the world. Yes, this workforce has been termed as unemployable in the past, has been termed as unskilled. However, at the end of the day, this workforce must remain vigilant. We as citizens must remain vigilant. The best way to remain vigilant is to remember that economic franchise, along with all franchise, rests in the power of citizens. We are not just citizens of India, we are citizens of the globe. And the two greatest powers in the world have been the United States and China, especially when it comes to manufacturing capability and output power. However, when we look at 2026, I'd like to say very positively the era of Sino American exceptionalism is soon to come to an end. I believe so because China is once again caught up in its geopolitical interest and conflict, while the United States has created another employment shortage and is bordering another great recession. India once again stands at the precipice of greatness. It is up to us to operationalize that greatness. Now, how can we operationalize this greatness? We utilize our young workforce well, accurately, and most importantly, sustainably. The Indian plan that I've devised comes into three stages. The first one being skilling and development. Yes, Skill India exists, Stand Up and Startup India exist. However, we must train our future workforce to be skill compliant not just at a national level, but also at a rural and at a local level. Because manufacturing starts where the first brick is built. It is started in a village and then it goes up to cities. That is where my second argument comes into play, which is MSMEs. MSMEs serve as one of the backbones of the Indian economy, second only to our agricultural sector. Now, I believe that MSMEs must be horizontally integrated into the manufacturing process. Yes, I know that sounds very rhetorical and very polemic, but it is not that. We must immutably integrate them in such a way that they, number one, help in production, and number two, help boost regional output. Thirdly, we live in a country that is surrounded by the ocean on three sides. Look at Hazira in Gujarat. Look at Vishakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. These are two beautiful examples of something that I like to call coastal zone integration or CZI. CZI requires multimodal transport systems to be integrated into ports, into export hubs, not just so that we can ship to and from, but so that we can build within those industrial complexes and deliver to the rest of the nation. Let us take the example of Kosi in Bihar, where I believe CZI and multimodal integration would work best. Kosi floods in the monsoons and it floods terribly so. The roads and the railway are damaged, two lines of freight cannot be moved. What must we look at? We must look at rivers. Our riverine capacity is beautiful. We are the land of rivers. And it would be a disservice to Mother India if we did not, as the children of the land of rivers, use them to their fullest potential to transport, to export, and to create something that creates not just manufacturing prowess, but also instills in us the desire to be more and to do more. Lastly, when we look at it, yes, I have made sure that vigilance is something that we require, and yes, it is required at all three levels. To the policymakers, I'd like to ask one very simple question. Please take into consideration the fact that regionalisms play an important role in the competitive cooperative federalism that has been espoused time immemorial by the government and by the states. Number two, to students and to future change makers, we must come together, put political will aside, and look at sustainable, practical, and realistic ways to benefit and promote development, not just at a manufacturing capacity, but at an economic capacity, because the strongest economy is built on good democratic principles. If we do not uphold ourselves to those principles, we cannot say that we are a strong economy. And as I said before, An economy starts where the first brick is built. Thank you so much.